Hello, welcome back. I'm Lisa Haywood from the Department of Education, the Office of Social Emotional Wellness, and I'm joined again by my dear friend and colleague, Susan Ward. And today we're going to be talking about the final part in our mini conversation about good ways to have a difficult conversation. And specifically today, we want to talk a little bit about how to end a difficult conversation, how to have closure, and how to look forward in a positive way. Because chances are at the end of a rough conversation, there might be feelings of anxiety, there might be some hurt feelings, there might be some confusion even, but there's probably some complex emotions happening both on the part of yourself and on the part of the recipient. So Susan, who is my expert on all of these issues, said that she would be willing to talk about some of the things we could do to actually end a conversation in a more positive way or bring it to a positive closure, and some ideas on how to move forward in the best way possible. So Susan, I defer to you.
Well, thank you, Lisa. So we've covered a couple of different parts of having a difficult conversation, from being prepared and planning to have one, the feelings you might have in having one, um, keeping the conversation positive. And today we're, like Lisa said, we're going to talk about closing that conversation. So one thing I think it's really important to make sure you consider is when you're having a difficult conversation with someone, especially if it's like a student or a parent and you had to initiate that, is make sure you're offering your availability to support them after, during this conversation, but also after, and letting them know that you're available to be contacted or to set up another meeting to connect or to just talk about things further if needed. Um, and then help them also get into a positive emotional space, and that might mean keeping things positive and having some positive comments, or um, reinforcing their strengths, to keep it positive, and kind of sandwiching, starting off positive, having the difficult conversation, and then sandwiching it with some positive comments, reinforcing strengths of their child, of them, if you're talking to a parent, or however you want to do that, and you've already done the work to keep the environment positive physically, and now we're just doing it mentally, emotionally, and then allowing them to share, asking them, do you have anything else to share? Do you have anything else that you would like to ask? Is there anything unclear? How can I help you understand, or how can I maybe give you more information to help you process this? And just being that person that supports um, is also going to set a very positive emotional space for the people you're having the conversation with. And then being clear in any specific asks, or any specific next steps, or any timeframes. Maybe if there's another meeting coming up, clarifying and stating, this is what we're going to do. This is when we're going to have our next meeting. I will send you a text, an email, a phone call, or whatever that might be. And reiterating the next steps going forward so that they understand what's going to happen next. Again, reinforcing that the strengths of the person you're having the conversation with. And then after the meeting, just checking in, checking back with them to see, how are you feeling? Do you need more support? How else can I help you? And really just making sure that you continue to almost build the rapport, so that if another conversation needs to be had, or that there might be more difficult conversations, you are showing support, and that you want to be a part of that, and that you are being positive at the end of this one, but also going forward in any other conversations.
I think your last point is so critical. You know, sometimes when we leave an awkward emotional or mental place, the person with whom we've had that shared, probably less than stellar experience, is somebody who we might not want to see again in the hallway, on the phone, online. So when we make the extra effort to reach out and say, "Hey, how's it going? You know, how are you feeling? And everything okay?" I think that really invites them back into your caring space. and breaks down some of those barriers that they might be feeling, some of those hurt feelings or challenged feelings or things like that. So I think that's such a great way to end. Susan, we've come to the end of our 4-part mini series, and I've learned so much from you, and I don't know what our next series will be, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Lisa. It's been great working with you and Molly and Catherine on the other first parts. And yeah, I think this is really just important to talk about. And sometimes conversations are difficult. So